It's time for Twig This Week in Google with Jeff Jarvis, Stacey Higginbotham. We're going to talk about the new Pixelbook Slate and why Jeff says I'm not buying them, plus 8 new features I think you'll really enjoy. We'll help Stacey buy a new laptop and light up your life with Christmas. It's all coming up next on Twig.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twig.
This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 481, recorded Wednesday, November 7th, 2018. Stoned on cheese. This Week in Google is brought to you by CuriosityStream, a subscription streaming service that offers over 2,000 documentaries and nonfiction titles from some of the world's best filmmakers, including exclusive originals. Visit curiositystream.com/twit and use the code TWIT to get 1 month free. And by Rocket Mortgage from Quicken Loans. Introducing Rate Shield Approval. If you're in the market to buy a home, Rate Shield Approval locks up your rate for up to 90 days while you shop. It's a real game changer. Learn more and get started at rocketmortgage.com/twig. And by DigitalOcean, the easiest cloud platform to deploy, manage, and scale applications. Over 150,000 businesses rely on DigitalOcean to remove infrastructure friction and deliver industry-leading price performance. Sign up today and receive a free $100 credit at do.co/twit. It's time for Twig This Week in Google, the show where we cover the latest news from the Googleverse with Mr. Jeffrey T. Jarvis. Buzzmachine.com. I added a T just because it seems like you need a middle initial.
What would the T stand for in your mind?
Terrible, rude person.
Jim Acosta. That's Jim Terrible Acosta.
Jim Terrible Acosta. Jeff Jarvis is a professor of journalism at the City University of New York at the Tionite Center and is a great guy. And
I am at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York.
I'm so confused. I have a piece of paper somewhere with all of that. Anyway, great to have you, buzzmachine.com, at Jeff Jarvis on the Twitter. We also have Stacey Higginbotham in the house. She's at staceyoniot.com, at GigaStacey on the Twitter. Did you get up this morning and watch the Samsung Developers Conference Keynote, Stacey?
I did not get up this morning to watch that. However,
I did
see the news. Do we want to go into that? Because I can.
There's a foldable phone. That's what I was watching.
It looked really cool in the demos, but then someone was tweeting how with the lights on, you can clearly see the line of demarcation.
The guy who was demonstrating it said, this is not what it looks like. We've hidden it inside a case. This is normal practice with a new phone. Apple does it too. They hide them inside of kind of industrial generic cases so you can't see the details. But what he is showing is a phone that has a screen on the front, looks kind of like a thick, normal phone. Again, we don't know how thick because of the case. And then
I'm getting dizzy watching that loop.
And then he opens it up, and it's got one screen that is unfolded without any perceptible, line down the middle.
So, yeah, in the other video with the lights on, you see the line down the middle. Yes. Who tweeted that?
They demoed it in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little... Hocus
there
pocus.
was a tweet from someone in the tech press who saw it the night before during the rehearsal run-through. But I did not like it, so it's possible I will never see it again. So I was paying attention to some of the SmartThings stuff because, IoT.
That's when I thought of you, is during the IoT presentation. They didn't mention security at all. They mentioned interoperability. That seemed to be a key to
this is a different interoperability than they had pitched. So I've been watching Samsung do this for, 2014, CES 2014, maybe it was, or 2013, when Samsung's, who was it who keynoted? And he just was like, la, 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 Internet of Things, hand-holding, everything's going to be magic. This was kind of a return to that.
Yeah.
And the problem is they're grafting this vision, which is actually still very Samsung-centric, onto a platform that was designed for super nerds And the super nerds hate the platform. And the normal people are looking at this and going, why the hell do I want my dishwasher to talk to my television?
Yeah,
and
the demo they used had a refrigerator with a screen bigger than this on it. I mean, it was huge.
So, I could be doing Twig from my refrigerator cam one day.
I don't think so. I'm not a fan.
But yeah, so it's kind of a cool vision, but it's not as open as you would think. It's not as transparent how we're going to get there to normal people. You have to do a lot on the back end.
Right.
And I'm not sure if it's really worth it to people who aren't named Samsung. So that's my quick 20-second take there.
It seems like and Samsung really pushed Bixby as well, their voice assistant. Said they're going to spend $22 billion on AI, hire 1,000 AI developers. They brought the former developer of Siri, who, of course, when Apple acquired Siri, left Apple and started Viv, which Samsung then acquired. He's still at Samsung, and really promoted the idea that Bixby's going to be in everything.
And how do we think that's going to work?
I'm not having a couple of Bixby phones for the last year, the Note 9 and the S9 with the dedicated hardware button. Never used it, but that was from a different era. That's when Bixby wasn't a competitor to Amazon's Echo or Siri. It was just designed to open apps on the phone, to do things with apps on the phone. Now it's supposed to be a full-fledged voice assistant, which they kept saying is smarter than any other voice assistant you've used.
And it could be with Viv. So if they do this right and they create a voice assistant where you're like, hey, Bixby, let me think of it. Have my doorbell contact me when the postman gets here. If I can say something like that.
I like that.
And that actually works. And Viv actually makes that very easy to develop on the back end theoretically.
It's been a
long time.
That's what they showed. They showed a really nice developer environment. He booked a room on Mars at a hotel that was very expensive. And that was the demo. And he did a little bit of magic, turned a tape tie into a real tie, which distracted me. But it's all wishing right now from Samsung. But you know what? This is a nascent technology. Amazon has the lead right now. Google's coming on strong. Apple would like to be there as well. Microsoft's given up with Cortana. They've really said, I don't think we're going to. They actually moved it to the Office 365 group this week.
Huh. That makes sense, though, because Cortana clearly isn't going to be in your home life. So it's only going to be your assistant for business. Right. I'll say for Bixby, here's where Bixby with the Viv could win or do well. It's with creating those experiences in a way that's very seamless for the user and relatively easy for the developer. Because right now, if you want to do Amazon or Google, especially, Google's still a pain to develop for. It's a little bit harder. And with Viv, the theory is you would tell it you basically use this AI, and I'm using that in big quotes here, AI, to understand what a user wants to do and automatically pull together the right APIs to make that happen. So if that actually does work, that could get them into a lot of places. Just because if I had one Samsung thing and I wanted to tie it to other things, it's possible that might work. So,
yeah, it's for every one of these companies, it's an ecosystem play. And this is the thing that's a little frustrating. And it's one of the things that's held back IoT, in my opinion, is everybody's a silo. So there's always this promise. In fact, SmartThings was a Kickstarter based on the premise that we're going to be universal. We'll talk to Zigbee. We'll talk to Z-Wave. Is it still that universal, Stacey?
It would like to be. I mean, yes, it will talk to all those radios. Yes, they have features that will tie into other APIs if a device has it. The problem is people are not building things that tie into SmartThings. Instead, everyone wants to lock down their own APIs and make it like, oh, you want to talk to the Whirlpool washing? I mean, Samsung says they'll talk to anybody, and I actually believe that they would. But Whirlpool's not going to like bust its hump to be like, oh yeah, let me have my appliances talk to Samsung appliances.
That's the problem.
And make sure they work.
It's the historic problem with home automation going back 20 years. Is everybody wants to own it. Everybody wants a silo. And all I see is Samsung saying, our silo, not Amazon's, not Apple's, not Google's, our silo. And nobody wants to be maybe. It feels like no consumer wants to say, okay, I'm just going to buy all Apple stuff. It'll all work better.
Well, consumers do actually buy all Apple stuff just to make it work better.
They're the only one.
Craziness.
That's the only company. Samsung, no, right?
Well,
are people loyal to Samsung and say, I'm only going to buy Samsung stuff?
In some countries.
I mean, I'm sure some, I bet in Korea, South Korea, they're really big there. It's not just, I mean, one of the problems is we don't have, that's what OCF was trying to do. We don't have the equivalent of a hypertext, for the Internet of Things. So we don't have a data schema that everything uses that you can kind of build around. You have to do custom for everything. And that was the problem that we all saw back in 2013, even when Samsung was like, we'll be open, it'll be amazing. That doesn't scale. That doesn't scale beyond computing because the real world has so many more devices and things you have to care about. And the computing guys are, I don't know if they're willfully blind to this or what, but yeah, it's not, and there still aren't great use cases for some of this stuff. Like, do I need my refrigerator to talk to my television? I really don't think so.
But Stacey, is there an unused standard in this?
There's the OCF, which is long and storied and went through some efforts. And that's got Intel, Samsung, Huawei, LG are all involved. And that's basically a data schema for over 100 different devices. So it says basically like, I'm a light bulb. If you're a light bulb and you use OCF, it's going to say, this is how you recognize a light bulb. This is how it turns on, off, goes through X number of colors, dims, etc. You see Amazon took that and instead of using something like the data schema from OCF, they created a voice-related data schema with 3 different things, an on, off, a range, and a mode setting. So again, that's another way of doing it. And they exist. There's just a lot of them.
What would it take? I'm asking the two of you. For you to, I mean, Stacey is actually a bad person to ask because you do all of this. You try it all. You've got blinds that won't open but could if Andrew would just say the right words, that kind of thing. So maybe I should ask Jeff, but I'll ask you, Stacey, put yourself in a normal person's mindset. What would it take for home automation to take off?
I thought we were there. I thought way back in 2012 and 2013, I thought I saw the creation of those standards. It was all join. OCF was coming around the pike. And things like SmartThings that really did want to try to work with everything.
You'll agree, though, we're not there.
We're not. So it takes a universal standard. It takes cheaper devices, right? So at the time, you had devices that were very expensive. It also takes a really good and coherent communication of the value to an end user, which the tech companies just blew right past. Like, you can remotely turn on your crock pot is a really crappy reason to spend $150 for like a connected crock pot, right?
You're talking the guy who got Bluetooth pots and pans. I mean, it's
right.
It's dopey. It's dopey.
And that's why you see things like security systems. Those do really well. You saw the Nest do well for a while because it had energy savings associated with it.
For a while. Why did the Nest stop doing well?
I think there's a very big price ceiling of number of people who are going to spend that much. And there you go, back to price.
But I think also it's just like if you could, Jeff, if you could move into a home that it was all set up and everything worked with your voice and it worked reliably, that would be okay, right? It's the idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, imagine when we had Cat 5 through the whole house. Ooh, right? But Stacey says it's right. It's about standards, and it's not just about standards that exist today. It's about standards you have the faith they're going to exist in 5-10 years.
Even more basic.
My house used to have an intercom in it.
Yeah,
and it wasn't an issue of standards, but they were bad and they died, and there's still.
Remember, people would wire speakers in their house. Yeah. They spent a lot of money to put wired speakers in.
You're old enough to remember when people would wire speakers in their house.
I think
I have wired speakers.
Well, you're not, again, in no way do you represent.
Stacey, you are the queen of IoT. We are merely subjects in your kingdom.
So you guys are touching on some really yes, essential. And I would say I'm about to hit this real time because we're putting the house on the market in a couple months because we're going to move. And
You're going to move
I am
into
sitting
a
here thinking
normal
about
house.
Well, so they're all like, you should definitely keep a lot of the smart things that are in there, not necessarily smart things. But I'm like, how do I separate my devices from the brains, which is the value?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's becoming kind of, and he's like, maybe you could give them like an hour of consulting time so you could set it up for them. I'm like, oh.
That's the problem in a nutshell. No one
wants
in their
to go
right
through this.
mind wants to do that. It's just too much work.
Right.
This is why voice is so interesting as an interface. And I think that is, as I think about your question, I think it's computer.
Yeah.
Beam me up to, right? You want that ability at some level.
But you need a Scotty to set the whole damn thing up before you move in.
Yeah, you do.
Well, because like I'll tell you guys, you've seen it. I have a Madam A powered faucet. But my Echo isn't staying here because, well, it could stay here, but I'd unaffiliate it with my account, thus breaking that connection. I'm going to have to break that, tell someone else how to set it up. So I'm thinking I could create an Echo and then an email address for the house for them. So
no, you're being too nice. You should do what every other seller does, list it as a capability, and leave and get out of town before they move in. Seriously. No one, you'll see when you move into your new house.
Oh, no, I mean.
You won't even know how to turn on the fireplace. You'll have to figure everything out. They don't leave. Nobody leaves. Oh, here's our manual for how to run the house. And that's what it's going to take is a manual.
I have
Stacey,
started documentation.
Wow, you're too nice.
If you were going to build a house from scratch, what would you build into it?
So we built this house. We built it in 2012. I built Cat 6 cable.
See what you've learned since. Cat 6?
Cat 6. Look at that.
Beats Cat 5. Take that.
We were going to get gigabit Ethernet gigabit connectivity.
Google was coming to Austin.
Yeah, Google was coming to Austin. I was so excited. Silly. I would build, honestly, I would build Ethernet to every room because I'm still a wired LAN kind of girl. Mm-hmm. So that's one. I would actually invest in extra deep switch boxes for my light plates, my light switches, and my outlets. If they weren't, I would actually, if I were doing it, I'd just put in Lutron switches personally. But you know what you should do.
This will get you $50,000 more in your house. Spend $35 and on a Raspberry Pi, and maybe another $20 on a screen, and put it like in a closet somewhere. You have a wire closet already, right? You have a switch.
I do.
Put it in there. Put a wiki on it that's called, the house wiki. And then over time, just add to the wiki until you have that's your manual. And you will say, and by the way, welcome to our home. It's fully documented here with our soup. And you maybe dress it up with a nice, make it an informational mirror and put it in the bathroom or something.
Oh, good God. You go to the bathroom to read your house
wiki. You need, I'm telling you, a wiki is a solution. You can put it on a Raspberry Pi, put it on a little SD card. You could dress it up with one of them informational mirrors types. I don't care where you put it out in the living room. I don't.
You could get a story in the paper about the most wired house in Austin.
You would get, I'm telling you, 50,000 more easy.
Okay.
Easy. The Cat 6 alone I would pay for. And then if I knew it had a house wiki.
Well, Leo, as you tell Stacey she's not normal, I hate to break it to you, you're not either.
But there's other people in Austin who are buying homes.
I mean, Austin has a tech-savvy buyer base, but for the most part, they're going to get...
I think it's a selling point.
They'll get the sink. Oops, sorry.
Yep. It's all right. You just turned water on in 5 homes across the nation.
Right. That's how many have it. They'll get the sink. They'll get light switches. They will get a doorbell. They will get the MyQ garage thing, and they'll get the thermostats. But I think that's about it.
I should put more
and I can leave them.
Spend $1,000 for $50,000 increase in price. I'm telling you.
Oh, don't tell my husband that.
Wire that whole thing up like crazy. And then when you have open houses, have it get one of those Curry robots. I think they're selling them cheap, and have it come to the door and say, welcome
to your new home.
Welcome, buyer. Have a canapé. Let me show you around. I'm telling you. You'd get in the paper.
I do have a Raspberry Pi running like OpenHab.
Yeah.
But
the Statesman would publish a story about you. You'd get in the New York Times. It'd be a full spread. He'd sell it.
It's
$1 million.
Jetson's house.
The Jetson's house. Get a conveyor belt outside with a fire hydrant on it. You're set.
Jane, stop this crazy thing.
So Google must have known what Samsung was up to, because in the Android Developers blog, I didn't realize this. Right now, the Android Developers Summit is going on. And the very first thing they say is how to do a folding phone for Android.
ta-da!
It's a new category. Get ready for foldables. 2 screen devices and 1 screen devices. The Samsung device is a 2 screen. It looks like a phone, but when unfolded, the defining feature is what we call screen continuity, says Google. For example, look at this. Start a video with the folded smaller screen, and later you could sit down and unfold the device and get a larger tablet-sized screen for a beautiful, immersive experience. We're optimizing Android for this new form factor. So that's, expect to see foldables from several Android manufacturers, including one Samsung previewed today and plans to offer.
Do you imagine any lust for a foldable phone?
Oh,
I kind of do.
You knew what my next question was going to be. You want it?
I want it.
You can put your Wiki on it.
This phone doesn't fit. So this phone's too big for me. If I could get a slightly smaller thing that folds and then unfold it to something bigger, that would be great.
So it's like a Pixel.
But shorter. I need it to be shorter.
Shorter as well. And then, the Samsung phone actually did look kind of small until you opened it up. Yeah. It didn't look like that big a screen, to be honest with you.
Well, then you can imagine, how do you hold? I imagine somebody opening the thing on the subway, or I don't know.
I'm going to predict this is a flop.
Yeah, this is the
and there's unknowns because what's the mechanical issue? How well is that going to wear?
It's the first 8-track phone.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's true. Okay, I can see with it being novel, but I think I kind of like the idea of the form factor. I'll be honest, but I mean, I like paperback books. I've read newspapers.
Well, I think also the thinking is people want a bigger phone, but like Stacey, they don't want a bigger phone.
Right.
They want more screen real estate, but they want to. So it's kind of a hybrid. I have to say, though, that the history of hybrid devices and technology is uniformly terrible. I can't think
such as
Windows 8. Windows itself has been
yes.
struggling between desktop and tablet environment.
Well, I'm still. I'll tell you later. I went and saw the Slate today, and I still think that Chrome is not a good tablet OS.
Perfect example. So you're not going to get a Slate.
No.
We
at some
ordered
point in the
one.
time.
They're available now. Actually, by the time we got to it, the top of the line models were all gone.
The top?
Yeah, the top 2.
The 1.7? Yeah, 7 or whatever.
We had to get an M3 based or i3 based machine.
Wow.
So, but I don't, Jason, I just said I don't want it. Jason, you get it. I still have my Pixel. He's using an old Chromebook. I just have my Pixel book. So Jason's going to get it as his new Chromebook. And we went to the order. I'm actually, let me go to store.google.com because you can pre-order them now. As of yesterday, I think you could pre-order them. But I think that they didn't, they ran out. Let me see what the status is. Let's order. Shall we order one? First of all, you don't want, I was kind of surprised because the top of the line models are expensive. Yeah. $15.99 for the i7 out of stock. Oh, all the top 3. Now, the one we got, the M3 version, is now out of stock. So all you can get is a Celeron version. $5.96. This is counterintuitive. I would have thought the cheap ones would have sold first, but that just shows you when people buy a Pixel from Google, a Pixel book or a Chromebook from Google, they don't mind spending more money.
There's another possibility here, which is they
didn't make any.
Exactly.
But we ended up getting an 8th gen Intel Core M3. That's a pretty sluggish processor, but maybe not for Chrome
Kevin
OS.
says Best Buy still has stock of the Slate.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. Just go to,
hi, Kevin.
So yeah, so which one did Kevin get?
Okay, I'll ask him.
Let's go see. Let's find out what we can get here. iPad Pro is on the front page, of course. Good luck. You know why they still have them? You can't.
i5. Oh, yeah, I knew this one. I shouldn't have even had to ask.
i5. That's the one we would probably want to get.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Plus the keyboard, says Kevin.
Oh,
So
yeah,
this
don't
is
forget
something
the keyboard.
Kevin and I have been talking a lot about because I am in the market. Well, I'm in the market for a new laptop. And with the new MacBooks and the butterfly keyboard, I'm like, or the MacBook Airs. So he's trying to convince me to buy a Surface laptop, but I'm still kind of like, ugh.
Okay, this is really confusing. I think Best Buy needs a little bit of explanation here. They're trying to upsell me on Microsoft Office for my my Pixel book. No, sorry, it's Chrome OS.
Well, but actually, wait a second. Is that the online version? Then you actually might want to buy it.
Let's see.
If you're stuck in an office.
No, it's 365 personaler.
It's just.
So
But it's a subscription to the online. You can use that.
The online's free.
Not for the
web-based
Package.
one. Oh, you mean this is going to be, I would not recommend. So a release.
Well, I wouldn't anyway.
See, I don't know if a release date for this item has not been announced. So I think you could order this and it may not mean that you're going to get it. God, it's expensive. This is ridiculous. Because this is $9.99 for the i5 version with 128
What's the
gigs.
equivalent iPad Pro?
Yeah.
You want to see a $2,000 tablet? Feast your eyes.
And
Feast your eyes. Well, not mine. Actually, mine isn't. I couldn't bring myself to get a terabyte of storage, but it's pretty expensive. I don't remember exactly what, but there's $200 for this keyboard, which is, by the way, what Google's charging for their keyboard. This is the Folio keyboard. Goes on.
Man,
right here.
this is just a way to make laptops less durable and more irritating to use.
Thank you. With an operating system that just doesn't do it
Sucks.
I want my Nexus 7. I want my Nexus 7.
That was a great Android
it was a
tablet.
great device. Yeah. That's a tablet. This is a laptop. Making a laptop into a tablet just doesn't make any sense.
Again, back to my
Right.
contention. Hybrid devices have a very poor history.
You know, the only time that I use my Pixelbook as a tablet, I guess.
Watching
Ladies and
Netflix.
gentlemen,
Airplane.
please shut down your large electronic
airplane.
devices.
Yeah.
You may use your tablet. So I turn it into a tablet, and they don't bother me. And then I turn it back into a laptop. Says we're up.
So I bought the 12-inch iPad Pro. That's $9.99. Oh, I can't even order. Oh, you have to choose the color. Okay. If you want a terabyte of storage, it's $17.49. I didn't go that crazy. I only got 256 gigs of RAM. I did get Wi-Fi and cellular, so that's $12.99.
Which I wish I could get.
Yeah.
If I could get cellular, I might consider.
I'm putting a Google Fi
Slate.
chip in. I'll let you know how that works. The data chip. And then I think it'll work.
It might work.
Yeah, no, I think it will
Work,
work. Yeah, it might look like a T-Mobile SIM, but it'll work.
I thought 5 only worked in certain devices still.
I've been able to use this data SIM. I was using it in a Windows HP NVX2.
You're kidding.
Yeah. Should I
Ooh.
try it?
Sure.
Let me just pull out.
I just happen to have
I
a
happen
SIM
to have a
with me.
SIM puller on my. No, I don't on my keychain. John's gonna go get it out of my drawer. I will.
I was
try
like,
it.
I keep a bottle opener on my keychain.
I do
and you keep a SIM puller.
I do keep a little plastic holder of SIM cards. However, call me nuts, but I happen to have. Let's
You're
see.
nuts.
I think I'll use today. I have T-Mobile, AT&T. I think I shall choose the Google Fi SIM. For
Now, how do you know it's the Google Fi?
It says Fi on it, but on some of them, like I have 2 T-Mobile, I have to write the phone number on it in very tiny handwriting. All right. Oh, thank you.
John's like your Fred Norton on. Fred on Howard Stern. He just anticipates your need and goes and gets your
He is the
your
best.
puller.
He's better than any Fred. He is the king. Oh, and see the magnetic pencil? Look at that.
Yeah.
I got 2, one for Megan. It says Dream Girl, and mine says Dream Boy, because you can monogram them. Or
How much does that
and you
cost?
chose
I think it was free, because the pencil's $129. $200 keyboard, $129 pencil, $12.99 for the iPad. I think I did get close to $2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, do you ever buy service for these things?
No. Yeah,
'Cause you
Apple
get rid of-
Care. Yeah, no, I don't. I self-insure. All right, there's the SIM slot. Let's just put a little Google Fi in there. Are you bored?
Oh, sorry,
No,
Stacey.
I'm
Jeez,
sorry.
we're
No,
boring you.
I'm sleepy. I was up late last night.
Why? What were you doing?
I was watching the election returns, and then I was angsting, and
I like how she
Yep.
said, I was watching. See, in California, we knew Beto lost before midnight.
well, I knew he lost as of like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Beto.
It still felt sad.
Beto, you know what? I was thinking, and then they echoed it. Now he's wide open for a presidential run. Think of it that way.
I'm assuming he'll run in 2020 for Senate in Texas, which would be
loses,
smarter.
but we all win.
I mean, anyway.
Now where do I find out? I go to cellular. Let's see. Cellular data on. SIM card.
Ooh, maybe I'll have my family bring me a cup of coffee.
So,
Did it work?
I'm waiting. While we're waiting.
Oh, I see.
While we're waiting. I think it worked. I don't know.
We're going to take a break.
Wait, can I get advice on my laptop conundrum, or should we do an ad? You should probably
Let's
do an ad.
do
Never
your
mind.
laptop conundrum, then we'll do the ad.
Okay. I currently have a MacBook Air, you guys. I use all of my USB ports. I have I plug in audio, audio. I do Skype for Twig. I need a new laptop. I don't love the keyboard on the MacBook Air, the butterfly keyboard
Do you
on the new
mind
one.
Windows?
I don't mind Windows. I have had Windows computers in the past. So the question is, what laptop should I go with?
What's your
I do
budget?
want it to be light for travel.
John, would you bring me the Huawei Mate Pro X? I'll show you my one of my favorites. I like
Stacey, I'm going to test. Skype might work on a Chromebook.
I also run Audacity. I do some audio,
Just do audio
transcription,
editing.
audio editing. So
how do you feel about the Chinese government?
oh right. I am a little nervous about the Chinese government.
So this is a company called Huawei. They're a Chinese
Yes.
company. This is the Huawei MateBook. Let me show you next to the brand new MacBook Air. It's roughly the same size. It has a fairly good keyboard, fingerprint reader. Unlike the Air, the screen goes almost all the way to the edge. The Air's screen does not. On the other hand, the Air's camera is in a sensible spot, which is at the top of the screen. You can see where the bezels are, but there's room for a camera. The camera, and I don't know if you care about this, the camera on the Huawei is hidden away in the function key right there. There it is. Whoop, it just popped up.
So it
That's
it
weird.
gets your nose hairs?
It's a nose cam.
Okay.
But if you really, if you really wanted to use it, you could probably just, do it like this.
I mean, I have an external camera. So how many ports does it have?
The Apple comes with 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports and a headphone jack. The Huawei comes with a Type A USB 3.1 port, dual Thunderbolt 3 ports, and a headphone jack. So you have a little more flexibility, both charged with Type C, which I think you should get. This has a fingerprint reader. I think a much better keyboard than the Apple, a little more travel. If you really care about keyboard, though, as a writer, you might look at a ThinkPad from Lenovo, which aren't the ThinkPad. Look, the most beautiful laptop out there is the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. It's stunning. It's light. It's thin. It's a little pricey. This starts, I think the one you want is about $16.99 on the Huawei.
Okay.
Which is pretty good for this. The comparable Apple. Well, there is no comparable Apple because they're using a much slower processor, but is about $100 more. And I think the ThinkPad X1 Carbon is probably in that price. It's sub $2,000. The X1 Carbon is really nice.
I'll check it out.
If there are a couple of advantages to doing a ThinkPad. The keyboard is unparalleled.
Okay, yeah. Kevin was pushing me towards a Microsoft Surface.
No.
Thank you.
No, because you don't like that.
That was decisive.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, I'm still going to go. I've got to go check everything out. But I'm really kind of hacked off. So thank you guys.
6th generation X1 Carbon, beautiful. Starts at $1,139. You can customize it to be a little bit more beefy. If you want a 2-in-1 where you can flip it over, They make a yoga, which does the same thing. It's basically X1 yoga. So the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Just like Jeff does, where in the airplane you get tented. Yeah. You can watch a movie that way, which is nice. I really think ThinkPads are great. Also a Chinese company, Lenovo, but not one of those Chinese companies that people in the Commerce Department are worried about, apparently. And now I'm going to tell you what you could watch on that new tinted notebook. How about that? Are you familiar with CuriosityStream? I know you're curious. CuriosityStream is the world's first streaming service that's addressed to your lifelong quest to learn, to explore, to understand. I want you to go to curiositystream.com/twit. It's as little as $2.99 a month. So you got to love that. They have amazing documentaries. It's founded by John Hendricks. He was the guy who created Discovery. They do have Roku apps, Android apps, Xbox, Smart TV, iOS, Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Amazon Kindle, and Apple TV apps. So you can watch it anywhere. It's available worldwide. There are no geographic restrictions. The content spans everything from science, nature, history, lots of technology, lots of society and lifestyle. There's the Stephen Hawking series, Favorite Places, The Hunt for Dark Matter, Birth of the Internet, Destination Mars, Cyber War. It's basically documentaries. I love documentaries. I want to watch more documentaries all the time. By the way, they also have a premium plan which includes Ultra HD and 4K streaming. A lot of these are in 4K streaming. So I am a huge fan of CuriosityStream. More often than not, we'll say, "Oh, what's on? What dramas are on? I don't. Let's watch Wild Venice." Did you know that Venice has its own coral reefs? 2,000 plus documentary features and series. Visit curiositystream.com/twit and use the code TWIT to get 1 month free. There's always new stuff, too, which I really, really like. A month free at curiositystream.com/twit and the offer code, again, TWIT, CuriosityStream. The history of food. The trials of Muhammad Ali. Wallace Simpson, The Secret Letters. Why are bees facing extinction? This actually, you're laughing, but it's you've never seen photography of bees like this. It's amazing.
Bees are fascinating.
Bees are great.
Bees are awesome.
Well, then you would want to watch this.
I was laughing because I heard wire bees and I thought
wire bees.
My brain just was like, oh.
Oh, wire bees.
And then she said, "I want them."
Yes, exactly. I'm like, I need some wire bees.
You could
It's
wired. I want it. Whatever it is.
Yeah. You can get bees in your new home in Seattle. All right. So we helped you buy a laptop. I haven't tried this yet. It's very nostalgic for me to see a MacBook Air because I just loved this form factor. I really did.
I did. Yeah, I loved it too. It was so great when it came out, but it's not anymore.
They haven't kept it up to date.
Problem with it now? Keyboard?
It's got a very short travel keyboard.
I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate those.
I'm not a fan. The second generation is a little better. Not much, but a little.
Well, this is the third generation butterfly keyboard, right?
Yeah, the most recent.
Yeah.
Because I have the MacBook Pro with the newest one, and
didn't they just announce one? Is that the just announced new one?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. Okay.
It's in a lovely gold.
I was excited about rose gold. I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get
rose
that."
Gold,
I was like,
it's gold.
Oh, I wanted the rose gold.
I think gold's pretty sweet.
Well, yes, you covet that computer there, Leo.
I have way too many computers. I think that Huawei shows what Apple could have done, but there is an issue. It's from a Chinese government-related company.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd buy a Huawei laptop, honestly.
Yeah. Then look at the Lenovo's. Those Lenovo's. The ThinkPads though. The ThinkPads. And man, you can bang on them. The keyboards are replaceable. The screens are replaceable. The trackpad is replaceable. They are great. Look at these.
Andrew
bees.
has one. He loves it.
Andrew knows.
Beautiful bees.
Wow. So I'm reading a novel right now about the amazing life story of Madame Tussauds.
Ooh. Of the waxworks fame?
Yes. So speaking of wax, it's amazing how much wax people used to use all those bees needed to produce a lot of wax.
None of your
Is that where
beeswax.
wax? Okay, I know there's beeswax, but is that where all wax comes from?
No, not anymore.
Not
Okay,
anymore, but
sorry.
back then, didn't it?
That's all they had.
I don't know. Okay, that is all they had.
They had, or maybe a little ambergris, throw it in.
What?
Oh, the whale throw up?
Oh.
That's a little waxy. So last week, we didn't talk about it. We talked a little bit about all the kerfuffle, but we didn't talk about the walkout because it was on Thursday, I think. And on Monday of this week, a couple of days ago, the Google executive team met to say, what are we going to do? 20,000 workers in Google offices across 50 cities walked out November 1st at 11:10 a.m. Here's the San Francisco walkout. Some of them holding up signs, many of them holding up signs that say, don't be evil. Make Google do it. I'm happy to quit for 90 million, says one of them.
I don't know if I'd be advertising that.
Yeah. Yeah, really. They're talking, of course, about how Android founder Andy Rubin got a $90 million payday when he left, but it turns out he left also because of sexual harassment charges. Actually, it wasn't harassment. It was inappropriate sexual conduct.
Sexual misconduct, I believe is what they call it.
Misconduct. I think it's misconduct these days. We have the eyes of many companies looking at us, said Google employee Tanuja Gupta in New York. We've always been a vanguard company. If we don't lead the way, no one else will. So I think that's how a lot of Googlers are seeing it, is not so much that there's something wrong with Google, but we have to be even better.
Yeah,
we have to lead the way, right?
Did you understand the New York Times headline? Google workers reject Silicon Valley individualism in walkout.
What?
Was there a headline?
What?
For decades, Silicon Valley has been ground zero for a vaguely utopian form of individualism. The idea that
like
a single engineer
libertarianism.
the idea that a single engineer with a laptop and an internet connection could change the world, or at least a long-established industry. Class consciousness was passé. Unions were the enemy of innovation and anchored to the status quo. What the heck is this report?
I think that's somebody in New York's idea of what Silicon Valley's all about. I don't think that's accurate.
Commies.
It's a bunch of commies. They hate unions.
Well, that is true. I think actually libertarianism probably sums that up really well.
Yeah.
Not needing it, but anyway.
By the way, according to...
I don't think that was... Individualism was not the real issue here, in my view. That's all.
No.
Yeah, I actually saw this and was kind of interested in the idea of what that meant for collective action by workers in Silicon Valley. You know, if you wanted to protest sexual harassment, do you also want to protest things like contract labor? I don't know. So, you know, if you got a more politically aware class, what that might mean. But that's just me being all crazy.
I have turned off Wi-Fi. I have full LTE. It identifies as Google Fi.
Wow.
And it's popping up.
Wow.
So
why the heck didn't Google, with Google Fi, put that in the damned slate? It just drives me nuts.
Yeah, maybe that's why they did it, Jeff.
Kevin, I know, to drive me nuts. It's true. Google. Kevin Toffel tweeted me that there was I forget, Kevin, which one it was, but it was somebody added LTE to a Chromebook. And Jarvis is going to want that. I did.
Well, you can always hotspot and stuff, but I can't
hotspot is
because I have a grandfathered AT&T Unlimited.
And they won't let you do that, huh?
No.
Oh, Kevin says Google Fi Sims work on any unlocked device, but stay on the T-Mobile network.
Yeah. Although in the past I've seen them identified as T-Mobile. This is identifying as Google Fi anyway, which is that's a good sign. Actually,
I feel like a medium channeling Kevin.
And now Kevin is saying, wait a minute, Kevin's raising the table.
It was a Samsung.
If you're going to hell, ring a bell.
I was going to say, you know, I have a table that could be raised and I could connect it to Kevin.
He could IoT it on you?
Uh-huh.
Kevin could raise your table?
Oh, spirits, speak to me. If there is going to be a new Google Pixel book, ring 3 times.
Kevin says, does anyone want to speak to their great-grandparents? I have them here with me.
For those of you on audio, Leo is geeking out with his raisable table.
My table went up.
Oh, did you not see my table go up too? Or did you miss it?
No.
Because
Well, my table was hiding your table.
It was hiding your screen.
see here, there I'm going. I'm going.
Oh.
Wow, we can all do that. The thing is, because her camera's on the table,
Exactly.
Yes,
Look
it's
at
in Stacey's case, she's disappearing.
I'm just going down. Yes. I think it's way more effective. It's like that stair climbing miming thing that could happen.
Yeah.
So I have colleagues here that get the stand-up desks, and then they sit down, they type like they have those motorcycles with a huge right? It's just ridiculous.
What? Do they really?
Those
they
are
doing it for
choppers,
fun?
Jeff. Choppers.
They really do. Choppers, thank you.
I'll never understand choppers. So they sit like this and they type?
Yeah, no, it's way up here. It's literally up here.
Are they
they're looking up at the screen?
They're doing
and
that
I say
to
you
mess
defeated
with
the
you.
purpose.
What?
Yeah.
That is odd.
I just want to sit down. I just want to sit down.
We have a thing called a desk.
All right, so I guess we don't have anything more. We talked about this last week, the Google walkout, but it actually happened, and I
It's interesting to me that Sundar said before the walkout, I endorsed the walkout, and I will make sure that nobody gets in trouble for walking out.
which is the right thing to do, right?
It was,
yeah,
right.
but it makes your walkout like a non-protest.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
my risk-free protest.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Leo. Run away from home. See what I care.
it's when in high school we would get, we would leave school to protest the Vietnam War, and the teachers would come with us. It was like, oh, that's no fun.
They do that. So they had that, although not in every school in Texas, but if you wanted to protest, like the day the students walked out for gun violence.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, they supported that, right? Yeah.
Yes, which
They should.
I mean, but yeah, and it is nice that Sundar was, solidarity in that way, but is he in solidarity in the, okay, maybe I won't give anybody else a golden, not handcuffs, golden parachute. So.
I haven't, maybe I missed it. Did that Monday meeting with the executive team and Sundar Pichai, did anything come out of that? I haven't seen any announcements.
I haven't either, but then.
What are they going to do?
They didn't fire a protest. Yeah, what are they going to, I mean, the test to this comes next. I mean, they can't claw back the money from Andy Rubin.
No, but we saw and we talked about the article and the cut and what they were asking for. And while some of that I think isn't going to happen, such as putting a employee representative on the board, but they wanted to end forced arbitration in cases of harassment and discrimination. This is actually a big battle in California. The California legislature approved a bill making forced arbitration illegal. Most employers, including, I should say in full disclosure that TWIT does this as well, we have a clause in your employee contract that says you will go to arbitration in cases of dispute. And the whole idea there is to keep everybody out of court and save us, the huge expense. Because it's very easy for employees who have been terminated to hire a lawyer on contingency and make our life expensive and miserable at no cost to them. So we put this in, and it's kind of, I don't think we thought this up. I think this is kind of the normal employment contract. But they say they wanted an end to that, at least in cases of harassment and discrimination. Governor Brown vetoed the bill when the legislature approved it. The governor would not sign it. Number two, a commitment. But I think that this is something, especially in the case of harassment and discrimination, this is something that Google might agree to. Their lawyers may not like it. A commitment to end pay and opportunity inequity. Well, of course, they're going to say, yeah, absolutely. We commit. We will no longer do that. Lisa was reading me last night. There was a UN report on pay inequality that said it's going to take 231 years before women get paid the same as men. I said, what? When did they come up with that number? And it's based on how much it's been going up. How like a penny a year closer. At that rate, it'll be 231 years. Number three, a publicly disclosed sexual harassment transparency report. I think that could be done. A clear, uniform, globally inclusive process for reporting sexual misconduct and safely and anonymously. Absolutely. In fact, the fact that they don't have that is kind of surprising. And then they want to elevate the chief diversity officer to answer directly to the CEO and make recommendations directly to the board of directors.
I think that's actually reasonable.
All of that's reasonable. I don't know about the employee representative on the board, but maybe they'd do that.
Or you just make your HR, like the head of your HR and people, it doesn't even have to be chief diversity officer. It just has to be someone who actually gives a hoot about that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, frankly, that's what the HR person should be given a hoot about.
Okay, well, that is not necessarily what HR people are hired
sometimes
to
they
do.
represent the company. They're there to protect the company.
Mm-hmm. I have a very good friend who is head of HR at a variety of companies, currently at Silicon Labs, and she has got strong opinions on HR and the role of HR, and I love her for it.
Is it to protect the company against exposure or to protect the employees against the company?
No, it's basically to create the type of environment that the company wants to have and to push that.
That's good.
I mean, so
that's fair.
You could have a really dickish HR person if you have a company that doesn't really care about their workers, but
we care.
If you care.
We care. So did you run off to Best Buy to get a Pixel Slate? No, you did not.
No, I did not. No.
You do not want the Pixel Slate.
I do not want the Pixel Slate, Sam I am.
I was going to say.
There is a contract Google has agreed to, along with Facebook. Tim Berners-Lee's contract for the web.
This is such bull.
Bull
malarkey. Okay, keep going.
Well, tell us how you feel. I'm trying to find it. What is the contract for the web?
What is the contract? Yeah, I put that on there, but I hadn't had time to read the contract for the web yet.
It's really vague. It's basically like, hold on, I'll get the actual words.
Contract for the web. Core principles. The web first. Core principles. This site uses cookies. Okay, click that. Every site now. The web was designed to bring people together and make knowledge freely available. Really? I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's what Tim Berners-Lee was trying to do, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe make knowledge freely available was number one, and then bring people together. Everyone has a role to play to ensure the web serves humanity, okay? By committing to the following principles, governments, companies, and citizens around the world can have protected the open web as a public good and a basic right for everyone. Can't disagree with that. Governments will ensure everyone can connect to the internet unless it violates free speech. I'm mocking the FCC commissioner who said, "Oh, we can't have municipal internet. That would violate free speech."
Pie.
Keep all the internet available all the time so that no one is denied their right to full internet access. I like that. Respect people's fundamental right to privacy so everyone can use the internet freely, safely, and without fear.
I'm waiting to see when Stacey's going to pop up. Well,
that's kind of a non-starter. No government's going to say, well, we're going to, privacy unless you're a terrorist.
Right. That's the safely. So the government's part is kind of silly in the sense that, hey, if you're Iran, you're going to keep shutting down the web when you want to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but the companies, which is sort of Google and Facebook, I mean, sure, Google and Facebook are like, yes, governments, let's provide affordable access to the internet so people can consume our services. But making the internet affordable and accessible to everyone. So they're actively trying to do that because, again, for their own cynical reasons, get more users. And so saying they respect consumers' privacy and personal data, I'm sure that Google feels that they do that. I'm sure that Facebook would tell us they do that, and they have in the past, and then lied through their teeth, and develop the technologies that support the best in humanity and challenge the worst.
Oh,
please,
God.
it's
kind of
it's pretty amorphous.
These are sweet, but they're not anything that can be realistic. I mean, it's like "Don't be evil" as your corporate slogan.
Right.
Google was going to get rid of that because that was a ridiculous corporate slogan.
All right. Well, there's a third part. Us as users. Citizens will be creators and collaborators on the web, so the web has a rich, relevant content for everyone. I like that. Everybody has something to say on the web. Everybody should get to put something up.
How about citizens will not be a-holes?
It is not in here.
Oh.
Well, wait a minute. This kind of is
sort of, okay.
Build strong communities that respect civil discourse and human dignity, so everyone feels safe and welcome online.
All right.
Everybody.
Trolls
aren't going to sign on to that. Everybody agrees to that except trolls, and they're not going to sign on to it.
So
I just had people who. Oh, so you might argue that that white nationalists won't feel
Right.
free and available in some communities.
Right. Fight
So
for
I
the
just had a
web.
discussion.
Yeah.
Do the last one. Then
Fight for the web so the web remains open and a global public resource for everybody everywhere. Yeah, this is very soft and not, it's nice. It's nice. That's nice too.
It is. It's so sweet.
Nice.
So here's a related question. So I was talking to a academic and researcher I respect immensely, and she's working with somebody else we all know on trying to come up with the metrics of positive social impact and positive society on the net. And they're debating, as of the moment, they want to exclude civility as a metric. What do you think?
What do you think of as civility? Does that preclude disagreement?
No, I don't think it does. I think the problem is that they see is that everyone defines it differently. And I had this discussion with Yascha Mounk, who's a brilliant Harvard professor who's written books about the death of democracy. And I said, the problem with the word civility now, I'm hearing, is that it, like fake news, it got co-opted. And so the far right wing will say, if you try to shut down Milo, then you're not being civil to him.
Right.
And but Yascha said, no, don't give up on the word. Don't. You can be civil and still call evil evil. It is not uncivil to call evil evil. So you can have that large carve out, but the civility is still a goal. So we went back and forth a lot. The problem they're trying to grapple with is that how the hell would you ever come up with an algorithm to measure this? And I said, you're not going to come up with a one-size-fits-all algorithm. Because as the project that I announced last week, we said in our long post about that, the uses of certain words are going to be different. If you're the root reporting on racism, you're going to use charged words that elsewhere would be absolutely verboten, and context and audience matter. So there's not a one size fits all. I do think you need humans to create learning sets around this, but I do think it's possible to start to imagine flags of incivility or flags of civil behavior, flags of peacekeeping behavior.
It's hard to, one of the challenges I think with online debates or even telephone debates, in all honesty, is it's very hard to see that the other person is actually listening to you, which is an important part of any civil debate, is feeling like you've been heard.
True.
And that's very challenging online. It's even challenging like when I'm talking to my mom on the phone about her decision to vote for Ted Cruz. And so
I can see you rolling your eyes, Stacey. I don't even have to look at you. I can see you rolling your eyes. I know you're rolling your eyes at me.
It actually deeply saddens me because I understand her point of view. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. And that's a hallmark of civility, is the ability to convey that so the other person doesn't feel that you are rolling your eyes at them, right?
Have I told you guys about Spaceship Media? Have you heard about this company?
No.
Wonderful company started by two journalists in San Francisco to convene communities. This is answering your question, Stacey, about how they have a methodology of this. They convene communities in conflict into conversation. So their first was getting 25 women who voted for Trump, 25 women who voted for Clinton in San Francisco and Alabama. And the journalist interviewed them all and put them in a Facebook room. And at first, of course, they talked nicely, and then it fell down quickly. But two of my graduates in the social journalism program are working full time there, and they have a methodology for, look at the 7 steps of dialogue journalism. They have a methodology of making sure that people are hearing each other and reflecting what they hear and asking questions rather than making accusations and ending up with a civil conversation. And it's really a neat company. These people are great. They're doing one now with 5,000 women eventually. They've done, I forget the projects, but they've done like African-American students and teachers. They did a huge national thing with advanced publications on guns. I think we tend to presume that people go into these chat rooms and it's all negative and all awful. And the worst of the worst, of course, is over there with 20,000 people hired by Facebook to get rid of things that don't meet their community standards. But it's possible if you put some resource and some investment into it, and that the people in the room care enough to have it, you pick them, frankly, that you can start to learn how to have civil conversations. I think there's the beginnings of this online. Beginnings.
Okay.
Anyway, So,
yeah, no, I'm like, let's do it.
Tim Berners-Lee, yeah. I mean, Leo, you have it. I was thinking about this. You have it in your chat room.
We do.
You do. And it works. And it works because people have reasons to be there and reasons to protect it. And
actually, it works because we have a dozen moderators with big sticks.
Yeah, but they have they want to protect the chat room.
Right.
Right.
And I think the vast majority of people in the chat room are share that goal. But honestly, without enforcement, it doesn't matter. And that's the problem with trolls is they're norm breakers. And you can have the norm, you can have the standard, everybody can agree, and then one troll can do whatever they want because they're norm breakers.
Yeah.
Right. And
they're not bound by norms. So then, I hate to say it, that's when you break out the ban hammer.
Yeah, you do. That's part of what you do.
You got to do it.
But
that seems more important than norms, frankly. The norms didn't accomplish anything.
But this is where I think Tim Berners-Lee is trying to get something. Is you start to say, do we have a shared goal? And it does start. Stacey's absolutely right. It starts up in the clouds, out, and it doesn't seem very tangible in any way. But you have to start, I think, and agree to the PAP before you can get down to the tactical level.
Yeah,
maybe. Because otherwise, you're going to get in the weeds right off the bat of defining civility.
Yeah, which is hard to do.
It's hard to do.
I know it when I see it.
Well, indeed, Stacey, my argument is the InfoWars thing, the algorithm writers and the comms people and policy people at the platforms and the regulators and media somehow want to have a preset list of rules that they can write their algorithms to and write their regulations to.
Right.
What happened in the InfoWars case is that a large chunks of society said, I don't know what your rules are, but if this is on the right side of it, your rules are wrong. It's on the wrong side of whatever the heck the ruls are. Get rid of it and then figure out your rules. And that's how society works. That's the negotiation of norms and standards. And it starts transactionally and anecdotally. InfoWars has to be wrong. So deal with it. And all the at Jacks you see are, Jack, how can this be okay? It always starts not with the rule, but it starts with the anecdote, the example.
Right. Let's take a little break. Come back, and we're going to talk about Content ID, YouTube, and why I'm mad as hell.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Our show today brought to you by Rocket Mortgage from Quicken Loans, introducing Rate Shield approval. If the time has come for you to buy a home, you probably aren't writing a check. You're probably not bringing a bag of gold coins. You're probably getting a home loan. May I suggest you go to the #1 lender in the country, #1 in customer satisfaction. 8 years in a row, according to J.D. Power. #1 in volume, too, thanks to that. And you'll love this new 3-step power buying process. Rising interest rates make already anxious process a little more anxious. There's always the chance that as you're shopping for a house, interest rates will go up and it'll cost you thousands of dollars more. Stacey, you'll know all about this soon.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be nice if when you get your loan, it gets locked so that rates can't go up? That's Rate Shield approval. Step 1, the power buying process. You go right now to rocketmortgage.com/twig, set up the account, answer a few simple questions you already know the answer to, your social, your birth date, your name, your address, and they will check your credit and then say, here's the loans you qualify for. You choose the term, the rate, the down payment. You'll love by the way, the rates are really good. And boom, you got pre-qualified approval in less than 10 minutes with no trips to the attic, no trips to the bank, no need even to put on neckwear. No ties required. Quicken Loans will verify your income and assets and credit in the next 24 hours, most cases without you doing anything because they have trusted relationships with all the financial institutions. And then they give you something called verified approval. That's step 2. It gives you the strength of a cash buyer. It means when you go to buy a house, there's no contingency. You're good for the money. It's you got the loan. Step 3, once you're verified, you'll qualify for the all-new Rate Shield approval. This is something exclusive to Rocket Mortgage, and you're going to love it. They lock your rate for up to 3 months while you shop. It cannot go up. If rates go down, unlikely, but if they did, your rate would go down. More likely they're going to go up. At least you know your rate stays the same. You know how much that loan's going to cost. And that takes some of the pressure. You don't have to rush to buy that house. You have 3 months to look to find exactly the right place. This is why Quicken Loans is number one, honestly. To get started, you go to rocketmortgage.com/twig. Rate Shield approval is only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Additional exclusions or conditions may apply. Based on Quicken Loans data in comparison to public data records. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, and MLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030. It's rocketmortgage.com/twig. We thank them for their support. So Content ID is the tool, the automated tool that Google uses, YouTube uses, to find copyright violations. Google says our anti-piracy efforts are doing very well. They paid $3 billion to copyright owners through Content ID. Now, the way it works, in most cases, it's an automated system. If you get a ding on a YouTube video, and we've gotten them, you can appeal it, or you could say, yep, you got me. And then the copyright holder has the right to pull you down if they want, or to monetize against you, to put ads up there. And that's so if you're like a recording company, one of your songs is being used, you could pull a video down, or you could have an ad for that song pop up, which would be nice. Or just credit. You get your choice. So it sounds like it's been very successful. This is a paper titled How Google Fights Piracy that they put out in 2018. The video platform's Content ID scans uploads against a database of files submitted by content owners and creators. And when it detects it, it gives you those choices. There's also, though, and this is the one that's making me angry, a little head up. By the way, I have to say, we have been dinged from time to time by Content ID. We always appeal it, and we say that's fair use. We're doing, we're a news operation, and in every case, it's been lifted, and we've gone ahead. There's been one case, and I think this was actually legit. We were showing off a TV, and I had a BBC Planet Earth video playing, which we identified, but BBC said, no, you can't do that because it's not part of you're not reviewing Planet Earth. You're reviewing a TV, and it's showing Planet Earth. And I think that's actually legitimate. So
BBC was still being a bit of a...
We gave them a big plug. We said, isn't this beautiful footage, blah, blah, blah. And we weren't showing it full screen. It wasn't like, oh, I don't have to buy the video now. I can just watch the YouTube review of that TV. No. It was like...
How much? I mean, don't you have like a 30-second exemption, or is there...
No, there's no time limit. There's no... The fair use rules are funny, too, because they're a defense. So they really don't come into effect unless somebody sues you and you go to court, and then you say, well, Your Honor, this is fair use, and then the judge gets to decide. And
as Larry Ellison said, fair use is the right to hire a lawyer.
Yeah. But most cases, our experience with YouTube has been great, and that's all worked. But last week we had a little bit of a problem. I don't know if I mentioned. Did I mention this last week?
Oh, yeah,
you did. I was going to ask how that worked out.
Still down. Yeah. And I have a letter from YouTube. It wasn't YouTube that pulled us down. It was an attorney hired by Apple.
What?
Yeah. Huh. And so we've appealed it. Now, the way it works, it's different with YouTube Live. I just described what happens with uploaded video. With YouTube Live, you only get one chance. We've appealed it, and now it goes to that. Now Google said, or YouTube says to that attorney, the complainant, okay, you're going to pursue this or not? And they have somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks to respond. If they sue us, if they send a cease and desist, then Google says, all right, that's a strike. You're off YouTube Live for 45 days. Boom.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's slam, isn't it? It's so open to slam. What's their motive not to say, yeah, we'll sue?
Good question. I mean, I guess I could defend it. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to court. But I hope they heard that. Yeah, I mean, it's talk about a chilling effect.
Yeah. Plus, Apple, you're a Richard.
Yeah, it seems a little weird. What we did, just so people who didn't know, I will tell them. We do what we always do. We just did it with the Samsung event. We will stream their keynote and comment on it. Glossing it, annotating it, which I consider fair use for news purposes. It doesn't diminish the value of their stream because they're not.
It might if you say mean things about it.
Well, they may not. Yeah, so that may be, in my opinion, Apple is taking a page from the Trump playbook, which is,
right.
If you don't like what people say, go after them. And
this is why I have a Chromebook, not an Apple. I just
that's
don't
the irony
like
of it.
the company.
I do probably the number one Apple podcast, the number two Apple podcast, iOS Today and Mac Break Weekly. I buy every goddamn thing because Apple. I don't take loaners, so I buy everything. And review it. So Apple made last week they made $10,000-$15,000 off of me. So there's the irony. I don't feel like I cannot do that. I have to review it. This is what we do. This is our business, is to tell people what Apple's up to and what we think of Apple's products. That's my job. So,
just like Jim Acosta, they're trying to pull the microphone away from you.
That's what bothers me because it's not a takedown of that video. We are not on YouTube Live now, and we won't be on YouTube Live until either Apple doesn't do anything about it, and then YouTube will lift the strike and we'll be back on next week, or for a month and a half. And at that point, there's a massive chilling effect because after, I can't remember, is it 2 or 3 strikes, right, on YouTube Live? They close the account and all associated accounts. Twit would be gone. Oh. So there's a huge chilling effect. Now I all of a sudden have to tiptoe around Apple.
If you decided, Uncle, I'll pull that video of the live thing tomorrow.
No, that's not it.
It doesn't even help.
No, it's not related to that. In fact, that's still up, right? Is that up? Yeah, that's up.
It's still up.
Oh, I shouldn't tell him that. It was against the live stream.
But the live stream then gets archived.
And it's, by the way, I should check, but I'm pretty sure we have it up on the twit.tv specials. It's twit.tv/specials. I'm giving them ammunition. I'm sure this guy's watching.
I actually used to be on a board with the the new chief counsel of Apple.
Is it a third person? No.
Oh, okay.
It's a third person. So you can watch this now on download or on our site. This was just YouTube Live, but it has the effect of knocking us off YouTube Live. You can't watch Twig right now on YouTube Live. Fortunately, we have other live streams, but you can't watch Twig on it. You can't watch our floss coverage. You can't watch anything on YouTube Live from Twit. It bothers me a little bit, but there's nothing I can do about it. This life.
It bothers me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
As a journalist, I'm like,
It seems. So, maybe the argument is, well, is that fair use? We do show it in its entirety. So that's there's 3 tests with fair use. One of them is the amount that was used. And we do show it in its entirety, but it's Mystery Science Theater 3000. We're sitting in front of it talking.
It's fisking, as we say in blogs.
Fisking.
Named after Robert Fisk, who bloggers didn't like early on. And you would take the entire column someone wrote and paragraph by paragraph respond to all the points. So you ended up repeating the entire column, but because you needed it,
well, that's what we'll have to
respond to every point.
That's what we'll have to do. We'll have to fisk it next time. Or I'm going to use puppets. Extremely unflattering puppets. No, I'm just kidding.
Really
the funny thing is,
when you say it's a third party, you mean it's an
attorney hired by Apple, outside counsel.
But it's still Apple.
He's working for Apple. But his offices aren't in Cupertino; they're in San Francisco. It's not going to affect my coverage of Apple. Obviously, I'm going to still do it, and it's not going to bias me against Apple. And in some ways, it biases me against the YouTube process because it's way too easy for somebody to do that.
Yeah.
And all along from day one, I never said, well, we're going to. And I see people who've done that. And I feel bad for them. Oh, we're going to Facebook Live is the future of our content, or YouTube is the future of our content. They've always been ancillary to our own broadcast and our own streams and our own downloads. Did we talk about white genocide? I think we did.
I missed that. I'm okay about missing it, but I did miss that.
So did you see The Intercept was able to buy ads on Facebook targeted at people who were interested in white genocide?
Is this the idea of what is people killing white people? Is that what white genocide is?
Yeah,
the fear that the white people will be killed.
The white race is going to be destroyed.
Oh, okay, yeah, these are those people.
It's anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
It's anti-immigrant. And Facebook said, we're not going to do that. Earlier this week, The Intercept, Sam Biddle writing for The Intercept, was able to select white genocide conspiracy theory as a predefined, detailed targeting criterion. Facebook said there are 168,000 users you're going to get. Here's the actual. And by the way, your ad is approved.
Well, let me say two things to this, if I may. One is, if you listen to Dana Boyd, Data Society,
is it automatic?
There, people are making up new phrases like incel all the time.
Right.
And the systems are a step behind.
Right.
So white genocide was a key to an evil kingdom that the bad guys put out there, and then they populate things online, and it's a strategy. I'm going to be holding a meeting next month about what Dana calls information voids just around this issue. But to play gotcha on that is naive. Second point, I can give you a very good scenario where you want to target those people. You are a good actor trying to bring sense and sensibility to people looking at this crap. It's a technique that is used against terrorism. The State Department uses it. Others use it where they find people who are searching on bad stuff so you can show them things that will try to counter that. So to act like, oh my God, Facebook enabled this is sensationalistic and naive.
Facebook took it down immediately.
Of course. Now, full disclosure here, remember that I raised money for my school from Facebook to work on just such problems as this, among others, and I'm independent of Facebook, and I received money personally from Facebook or any other platform.
I would say that
disclosure.
This is, of course, auto-generated.
Yeah.
Right? As most of these, all these terms would be. But doesn't Facebook have a little bit of a responsibility to have some humans comb through these looking for nasty?
How can you? Well, I could probably target an ad tomorrow based on, big toe bunions.
Right.
And I'll find all the people who talked about big toe bunions.
But it could be a dog whistle.
Anticipate.
Right.
And you don't know. So part of what we need to do, we in media need to work with the platforms with a common mission against these bad actors. And it is naive to think that Facebook should just be all-knowing and know all of these things that come out. If you listen to Data and Society, which I do, respect them immensely, and also Claire Wardle at First Draft.
But
these
honestly,
are experts in this area
who
know
Jeff,
how this stuff pops up.
If you were a human editor going through categories and you saw white genocide,
of course,
you would have said, "Yeah, let's not sell ads against that."
But Leo, it's not as if you have a finite list of categories. I assume this. I don't know, but I used to be this way with Google. I can go and look for anybody who uses a string of words. So it's not as if there's a catalog and you take the book off here's all of our categories. Oh, under W, it says white genocide.
That's a point.
No, it's that you're searching the entirety of public discussion to find a phrase and to try to target ads against that phrase.
So it's after the fact generated.
Yeah, it's the same as Al Franken saying to, was it Facebook or Google, rubles, you should have seen rubles.
Right.
When in fact, there were legitimate ads coming in for rubles. They didn't know what was happening. Once they knew, not at all hard to say, let's look at those ruble ads. Yeah, once you know white genocide is there, you get rid of it.
Facebook's response was to take it down. Say, you shouldn't be able to buy that category.
No, of course not.
But there's going to be more because there's always more because you can't.
And because the bad guys are using this, not just for ad buying, but for dissemination.
Yeah, and
So how does China solve this problem? Because they have this problem and their censorship is still pretty tight.
They have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of humans. And they have catalogs trying to go around and try to find out what things people are saying, and you don't have any freedom of speech. And they also have a mechanism to punish every citizen.
And
a little bit different.
Still bet stuff like this gets through. The difference is you don't have a free press trying it, finding it.
Yeah,
right.
Still bet. I mean, stuff gets through all the time. It's inevitable. You can't. There's too much activity. There's too many possibilities.
And use coded language.
Yeah. I am gratified, though, to see that a survey of more than 3,400 U.S. Facebook users found that 44% of users 18 to 29 have deleted the app from their. They didn't kill their accounts, just deleted the app from their phone in the last year.
That's not a bad. I mean, I feel like there's definitely a movement to manage notifications, handle crap on your phone. So
that was it's the gateway drug. That was the first thing I did is I removed Facebook and Twitter and Instagram from my phones. Then I removed it from my life. Yeah. But it's interesting. Would you be worried if you were Facebook? Is this number scary? Young people are your future.
I guess.
Not people like me. They don't care if a 61-year-old man deletes his Facebook account.
Yeah, but the young people are on Instagram. They're not deleting Instagram.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. This is from the usual Pew survey of the
And I will say that I encounter, and it frustrates the heck out of me. I encounter lots of places, even like hotel chains, where if I want to text someone in the hotel chain, I have to use Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
no, that's not businessy.
No.
That's not businessy.
That's
Facebook has informed me, however, that even though I've deactivated my Facebook account, I could continue to use Messenger.
Oh, yeah. Facebook lets me know like every week about I could get back on Instagram or get back on this.
By the way, when I deactivated my account, both of you guys were sad. It said you guys were going to miss me.
Oh, I haven't been on my Facebook account in forever.
Okay, it didn't.
I really do miss you.
It did pick a random 9 people and say these people are going to miss you.
Facebook knows they're right.
Every time I deactivate, I get a new set of people. It's good. I like it.
I don't miss you, Leo. I see you every week.
Yeah, you'll never miss me.
Unless you're on, your mini cruises, and then I'm like, oh.
I am very excited because you no longer can miss me because I will soon be getting my Facebook portal at the Facebook pop-up store.
Oh, Leo, don't even give them publicity on this. Just don't. Just pretend it doesn't happen.
It doesn't exist. There is no portal. There's no pop-up.
What's wrong with it?
Are you kidding me?
What's wrong with it?
The Facebook portal?
Okay, I get
pop-up store. The pop-up store.
Well, what are they selling at the pop-up store?
No, they're putting in brands there. They're putting in cool brands there that do well on Instagram.
Oh, it's kind of like your reflex. The most loved brands on Instagram.
Hit the knee and let's kick Facebook.
Some of the
they
brands
have a product called the portal. If the pop-up store,
they will be selling the portal. They will be selling the portal.
But Amazon sells its stuff.
Yeah, they'll also be selling stuff from Love Your Melon and Two Blind Brothers. So there.
Macy's actually had a phenomenal portal of neat gadgets. I happened to go through there only because it was raining like crazy a few weeks ago. And there was this great selection in New York Macy's, world's largest department store, of really neat stuff, well displayed. And I don't think it was a Macy's brand such, but I think they're trying to do,
so this is the same idea. Yeah.
Into market space.
Kind of like boutique-y inside a big
Wait, hold on.
This store.
This gets into my thing from this week. So
it also gets into my number for the week.
Zip it. Amazon's giving everyone free shopping on free shipping, and the shopping will be free. Free shipping on everything for the holidays. Thank you, Amazon. Just one more reason to pee in a jar if you're an Amazon employee.
What?
We finally, because you're working hard delivering all those free things.
I thought it was about drug testing.
No, they have to pee in a jar because they can't take breaks.
Here's the only thing, Leo.
Try to keep
that
up,
story
Stacey.
used the word whilst as opposed to wild. Does that mean this is only in Britain or is it or Australia?
I love
or is
whilst.
It true here?
What a great word. I'm going to use whilst from now on. And I'm never going to refer to myself. It's always going to be one.
Is that true in the U.S. or
one
not?
does not know.
Or my favorite is the New Yorker. This author.
This author.
Wait.
Do we care where Amazon's head HQ is going to be? It looks like they're going to do 2. One in New Jersey.
How nefarious do you think this was? That's what I want to know from y'all.
How many what?
How nefarious do you think this was? Do you think this was a big data grab? Nefarious.
Oh, you mean going to those cities and saying...
Getting all this data and being like, hey,
and
now they can use it to open their warehouses or do other things?
We might. They were shopping the best tax break. No, they were shopping the best tax break. That's all.
Yeah, they were. I really wanted them to do Newark because Newark needs them. Newark already has Audible. No, it's going to be Long Island City.
Oh, Long Island City. That's right.
Not Newark.
Tell us about Long Island City, Jeff.
Long Island City is right across the river, and it was never hip because Queens was never hip, but then Brooklyn got too effing expensive, so now Queens is hipper, and Long Island City is the first entry point of hip into Queens.
Oh, interesting.
Oh my God. I had a friend when I lived out there in 2000, and she lived in LIC, and holy cow, you just never saw her.
Yeah, no.
Because it's so far away?
No, it's not actually. It's right. It's closer than a lot of Brooklyn. It's right across the river, and you get views of Manhattan.
It's on the East River, so yeah, you get the view.
There's nothing there.
There's just nothing there except there's some good like random cheap international foods.
Here, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Long Island City.
Yeah,
that's it. Oh, I see that. I've seen this across the river.
Yeah,
it's those buildings.
Yeah.
It's like Emeryville. That's right. That's exactly where you go if you want real estate for a new HQ.
Except I would have to go over a bridge, and that would scare me, so I wouldn't go to Emeryville.
Let's do a quick change log. What do you say?
Ooh.
I like that reaction.
What?
There it is.
Change log.
So this is a file they're playing, obviously, right? Because we're digital. Right. And the name used to be like S13599 or something, right? But Karsten knew that name. And then when Karsten went on vacation, the new guy couldn't find it, remember? So he renamed it to Google Changelog Theme. Now Karsten can't find it.
Why would you call it that?
By the way, can we run it again? Because I want to see how many of those logos are now outmoded.
Oh, it's all out of date.
The Google Change
Out of date. Out of date. Out of date.
Google Plus.
Out of date. I think there was Inbox in there. I don't know.
Too fast, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. 8 noteworthy features coming to Chromebooks this very month.
Hey, hello, Kevin. Hello, Kevin. I read about these things with Kevin.
J.R. Raphael writing in Computer World. These hidden gems. Number 1, new multitasking gestures. Swiped. I can't wait to try this. When you're using a convertible Chromebook in tablet mode, or you're using maybe the Slate, swipe down from the top of the screen. That will let you drag an active app or browser window into a new multitasking interface where you can see it alongside of other open items. Ooh, that's kind of Windowsy. You can let
Wash
go
your mouth out
and drop the app into the open slot on the multitasking grid, or drag it to either edge of the screen and snap it to that side and start a split screen view. So try dragging down from the edge and then just see what happens there. It's kind of complicated. There's quite a bit more. An Android-esque floating keyboard. This is as of Chrome OS 70. You can tap the second icon within the top row. You see that funny? I don't know if you can see it. There's a funny little icon. Tap that, and the keyboard will go whoosh, and it'll shrink down into a little floating keyboard that you can move around by moving it around. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And you can even tap the little squiggly line. Here, let me show you that. See that little squiggly line right there? Tap that, and now you can use your pen to write howdy. And no, just wait, there's more. Tap the microphone, and you can start dictating. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty sweet. By the way, that's partly because system-wide dictation has been added. But you do have to turn, it's in accessibility, as usual, they hide it. But you can turn it on, go to the settings, type accessibility, manage accessibility features, keyboard and input, enable dictation, speak to type. And then you'll see a microphone icon in the bar. It's kind of down in the notification bar, see there? And you can tap that at any time and start dictating. There are going to be app shortcuts. This is also from Android. Long press or right click or 2-finger click any icon in your Chromebook shelf and see a list of available shortcuts. Kind of like
that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I use this feature a lot on Android, and and Apple has a similar feature with a force touch. Force touch sounds bad. It's not a force touch. What is it?
Long touch?
No, it's not long. It's a 3D press or
the
3D touch.
3D touch. Apple has all these terms.
It's a meaningful touch.
Yeah, it's meaningful.
There was actually force touch for a while.
I think it was force touch. It's a force touch.
I think it is.
The Files app, now has the ability to let you browse and manage your storage connected to both Play files, that's anything associated with the Android app you've got installed, and Linux files if you've got Crostini turned on. So I don't know if you've played with the Files app, but it sees everything. You can add Dropbox to it. It's really a nice little way to access cloud data as well as local. That's
how I use it all the time, is cloud data.
Yeah, I love it.
All I have.
Yeah, you don't want to store it on the computer. You want to keep it in the cloud.
Yeah.
An updated app drawer with smart suggestions. Have you seen that yet? I don't know if you've seen that. And a quick desktop mode for detachable devices. If you get like the Slate, you'll get a more traditional desktop Chrome OS when you connect the physical keyboard. You'll go into tablet mode. These are all very Windowsy kind of adaptations.
Just watch it, fella.
Windows. New wallpaper picker. The wallpapers, initially on a Chromebook, you picked one and only one. Then they got kind of rotating wallpaper. Now they're doing the Android-style daily refresh. And they have a lot more styles, too. Nice. Thank you, JR. JR Raphael with some of the new features coming to Chromebooks with Chrome OS 7.0. We did already mention foldable devices. That would have been in the changelog, but I moved it up because I think it's interesting.
Newsworthy.
Yep. Step into the sights of sound with Pixel 3, powered by YouTube Music. I have no idea what this is, but it's
the future.
Creepy.
It's the future.
Corpuscles.
Kind of crazy. I don't know.
I'm hypnotized.
To show you some of the new features on the Pixel 3 phone, we created Sights of Sound powered by YouTube Music, an immersive pop-up experience coming to San Francisco, Los Angeles, Austin, Miami, and Hotlanta this fall. Step inside rooms inspired by 4 musicians. Use your Pixel 3 to navigate, capture, and share the experience. And there will be a puzzle that you'll have to solve using your Google Lens.
Oh my God, what if this is the future of entertainment? So we're moving beyond the empty pop-up museums, like the Museum of Ice Cream?
That's what this is. This is a pop-up museum, but it's a Google one.
But it also has a puzzle. It's like Mist meets the Instagram generation.
I expect your Instagram feed to be loaded with these, Stacey.
I don't have a Pixel 3.
What? You don't have a Pixel 2?
I have a Pixel 2.
Yeah, no, they said
Pixel 3.
Does it have to be Pixel 3?
I thought it was Pixel 3.
You can use your lens.
Yeah, it has to be a Pixel 3.
Yeah, I don't have a Pixel 3 either. First time I haven't had phone envy.
Yeah, you don't miss this. You don't miss this.
I'm okay without it. I tried the Google emoji thingies, and they suck.
Oh, the AR stuff where your Iron Man drops in?
No, where you decorate your own little
like
thing in the
you.
cheaper. Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That was not
Couldn't
worth
find
getting
blue hair?
excited about. It did not have any blue stripes.
You know what you're going to like then? The Sephora tutorials on your Google Home Hub.
Oh, I love Sephora. And I love Sephora tutorials, even though I cannot do anything with them.
Want to ace your arch?
You guys.
Here's what you do. Just try this. Play Get Ready With Me Eyebrow Tutorial by Sephora.
Okay, here we go. Play Get Ready For Me by what? Eyebrow Sephora?
Hey, Goo-Goo! Goo-Goo! How about this one? Listen carefully, Stacey.
Okay.
Play Everyday Contour Tutorial from Sephora.
Play Everyday Contour Tutorial from Sephora.
All right, here's Everyday Contour Tutorial on YouTube.
Here it comes.
Yeah. There's also a smoky eyes video.
Ooh.
Foundation tips.
Sarah Sanders.
And bold lip colors.
Cannot handle this. Okay.
And if you happen to live near one of the 10 flagship Sephora stores, which you do not, you can stop in to check out the Dream Vanity Experience. Use the in-store Google Home Hub to nail your favorite night on the town look, get the perfect smoky eye, and see many other things that the Hub can do. Google Home
just watch
Hub
a press conference.
is now available for sale on Sephora.com.
They did pull the YouTube. I mean, this is YouTube content. This isn't a Sephora person.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. It's just a branding deal, right, with Sephora, but it shows that Google, this is, they're going after women, right? Or RuPaul. I don't know.
I could have made a terrible joke.
I know where you were going. I know. Hey, I like Ajit Pai. He says it's time we stopped robocallers. This is the best thing that the chairman of the FCC has done. He says, you guys by next year have got to figure this out. Robocalls are out of control. He wants companies to adopt a call authentication system to identify these. He wants answers by November 19th on the status of these efforts. He called out Sprint in particular, among others, saying you let too many through. So I have to say I'm behind this one. Canada has already set a 2019 deadline to kill robocalls, and now the U.S. says the same thing. He wrote to the major telephone service CEOs.
Can they even get rid of them because the
First
robos
Amendment
are fooling? No. Yeah, well, they're also fooling the system.
Yeah, the theory is
the
they do some sort of caller ID on them, authentication, so that you can answer your phone with confidence, Jeff. By this time next year, says Ajit Pai, I expect consumers will begin to see this on their phones. So it's going to take a little while.
Oh, I apologize. I forgot that I set off everyone's thing.
Oh, that's okay. Everybody's getting smoky eye tips right now.
I need smoky eye tips. That is what I'm going to look up. Although I don't know how to contour.
You keep ignoring my Sarah Huckabee Sanders jokes, but that's okay.
Your what?
Smoky eyes.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders jokes. Smoky eyes.
Flickr will end 1 terabyte of free storage and limit free users. Oh, SmugMug bought Flickr. I love SmugMug. We did an interview with Chris McCaskill, who's the CEO and founder of SmugMug, about his intent. That's on our Triangulation show a couple of weeks ago, because we knew that, Yahoo was not the best steward of Flickr, which is a great photo sharing site, but SmugMug should be and will be. One of the first things they announced, though, is that they're going to end the free terabyte of storage and limit free users to 1,000 photos. SmugMug is a paid service, and it sounds like they want people to sign up for Flickr Pro if they're going to use it for more than 1,000 photos, but they will add some other features as well. If you have photos on Flickr after January 8th, they will start deleting them. Actually, February 5th, they'll start deleting them.
Will they send you an email and offer to have you pay for them?
Yeah, presumably they are going to do that.
Oh, okay. I was like, geez.
No, this is it. This is your only notice.
If your old Yahoo
Well, that's the problem. It might go to your Yahoo account. Paid customers, $50 a year for Flickr Pro, which I've always paid for and I will continue to pay for, will be given unlimited storage for photos and videos at full resolution, no ads, additional data on how their photos are performing, because there's a whole social aspect to it. Premier customer service. You can do videos up to 10 minutes long. That used to be 3. And discounts from Adobe, SmugMug, Peak Design, and more. And if you sign up for Flickr Pro through November 30th, 30% off. I think I know, no more free, but free is not tenable in the long run. And I'm glad to see Flickr under new management, and these guys are really good. So I already pay for Flickr Pro. I'll continue to do that. I also pay for SmugMug. I love SmugMug. So the cloud ain't free, kids. And finally, did we finish the changelog? I forgot.
Yes.
Blow the trumpet. Pound the trumpet. Blow the drum. The changelog time has come.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that changelog is now done.
It's now done. But thank you. I'm sorry. You are a good editor.
I do what I can to make you sound your best, Leo.
Sam, I am.
What is Spaceship Media? Did you put this in here?
No, we already talked about them. We talked about them already.
Was I here?
Yes, you were. Shh, don't tell Uncle Leo. He's getting a little,
what did you say, kids?
Whiffy.
Little punchy here.
I got to leave in 5 minutes, so let me do the last ad of the show, and your tips and numbers will be next. Our show today brought to you by DigitalOcean, do.co.twit. It was so awesome. I had a web designer call me on the radio show on Sunday and said, I do a lot of web design. Different projects have different versions of JavaScript and other tools that I'm using. And it's just, I can't really maintain them all on my local computer. do you think like signing up for an account at DigitalOcean would help? Yes. Unsolicited. I really appreciate it because it's exactly what DigitalOcean is great with. DigitalOcean offers you a cloud platform. It's cloud-based that lets you manage, deploy, scale applications easily, quickly, provision them, spin them up, wind them down as needed for a very low cost. It's a great way to have multiple development environments, for instance, and then work in the one you want to, log into another one. It's a great way, for instance, on the iPad. I've already set this up. I use Blink, which is a great iPad SSH shell to log into my DigitalOcean accounts, and then I can do programming. I can do Node.js. I can do my blog. I could do anything. It's really awesome. I'm going to log in to my DigitalOcean account very quickly here so that I can show you how easy it is to spin up a DigitalOcean instance. And what's nice about it, it's very affordable. You can have many of them. I do. And at a very low cost. They can be public sites. In fact, if you create a DigitalOcean, app as a minimum viable product, and suddenly it takes off, no problem. You continue to use it, add CPUs, add memory, add volumes. It's very flexible. DigitalOcean is really one of the ways that this world has changed from the old days when if you wanted to do a web app, if you wanted to create something with a cloud presence, it cost you a lot of money. You had to set up servers. You had to do a lot of work. And it was all kind of speculative, like you may never get that money back. Now, I am jealous of you young people. It's so easy to set up a DigitalOcean server. Here, let me, I have a few running right now, but let me create they call them droplets, like droplets in the ocean. So let's create a new droplet. There are other things you can do, and I want to invite you to visit do.co/twit. You'll get a $100 credit so you can play around with this. You see, I have different operating systems, Ubuntu, FreeBSD, Fedora, Debian, CentOS, but I can also do container distributions. I can do CoreOS, Fedora, Atomic Rancher OS, and then add the containers that I choose. There's even one-click apps. So this is going to provision a server. Let's just set up a Docker server. What do you say? I'm going to click Docker. I'm going to choose the level. I'm cheap, so I'm going to start with the $5 a month, 0.007 cents per hour level. That's a CPU, a gigabyte of memory, 25 gigs of storage, a terabyte of transfer. Man, that used to cost a lot more. You want backups? I always enable backups. That's $1 a month. I'm not going to add block storage now, but I can always do it after the fact. Choose your server anywhere in the world, Bangalore, Toronto, San Francisco, New York, Amsterdam, and on and on and on. I always use SSH logins. I can name it. I won't. I'll just say create. Now watch, because I am actually provisioning a server right now with a public IP address, a complete operating system, SSH with my keys, plus I get a 99.99% uptime SLA. There's a cloud firewall, which I, of course, always turn on, monitoring and alerting, full DNS management. There's data centers all over the world, enterprise-grade SSDs. The API is easy, too. Over 150,000 businesses, including some of the world's fastest-growing startups, rely on DigitalOcean to remove infrastructure friction and deliver industry-leading price performance. And as I'm speaking, my Docker instance is almost done. By the way, notice the usage so far. This month, $4.52. It's cheap. There it is. I got a Docker instance. It's provisioned. It's ready to go. It's got a public IP. I could turn on a private IP, IPv6. I can resize it as needed. Running Ubuntu and Docker 1806. Don't you love that? do.co/twit will give you a free $100 credit. That's going to go a long, long way. Get your next project started. If for learners, for people who want to learn how to do this stuff, it's such a great, if you screw up the server, you just delete the droplet and start over. It is just fantastic. I've got Node.js running here. I've always got Emacs. I'm running a Ghost server, some Django, because I want to play with some Python frameworks. I told Kevin about this. This is awesome. If you're on a Chromebook, you just SSH into your server and you can do all of this stuff. They've got load balancing and a whole lot more. do.co/twit to get started with a $100 credit. DigitalOcean, designed for developers, built for business, and actually, in my eyes, the best little toy a guy could ever want. I love it. DigitalOcean. Stacey, your pick of the week.
It just changed it. I was going to do Oprah's favorite things because that just came out today, but I didn't care for it.
You know, Oprah apparently is President Trump's favorite thing. Did you hear him talking about her?
No.
Oh yeah. He says she's been to Mar-a-Lago. We used to be good friends. I don't know what happened, he said.
Yeah, so she put out her favorite things if you're into that. Her tech stuff is not very exciting.
Do you think they really are her favorite things, or is it's just advertising? Honestly. She
did a deal clearly with Amazon because everything is available on Amazon, even the Apple stuff, which isn't actually. So she definitely has an affiliate deal going with this.
Okay.
Anyway, we're going to skip to that because I found something way cooler.
Oh, this is cool.
So, and you are going to have to give your email to download the actual presentation. But I used to be a broadband reporter. So I used to have cable maps on my wall from Telegeography. I love this company. They map internet cables like subterranean, well, that too, submarine cables. And this actually talks about dead cables or cables that are not in use anymore, that have extended past their economic life. It's kind of cheesy, and it was done in the spirit of Halloween. Whoa. But it gives you examples of what happens when the undersea cables that provide internet and connect the world become economically useless.
Here is a 4,250 kilometer cable linking American Samoa to Hawaii. Nobody uses it. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, so sometimes they pull them up because some governments require you to pull them up. Sometimes they leave them there at the bottom of the ocean floor. But I just thought that was interesting because a lot of people, it's kind of the invisible infrastructure of the internet. If you go and download the full presentation that it links to, it's kind of a funny little presentation. It talks about kind of why this happens and when it may not happen. So, yeah.
When cables age out.
I know it's really super nerdy, but I love thinking about this stuff.
Do you have these on your walls?
Because
I used to.
Yeah, you can buy these. They're beautiful maps. Actually.
They have in 2014 or maybe it was 2013. They had a beautiful old world Here Be Dragons style one.
Yes,
and I bought that one.
I have that somewhere. I loved that.
And I used to have a spectrum chart on my wall, the FCC spectrum chart.
Oh, wow.
So
that is nerdy.
That's geeky. That's very geeky.
It was really useful in my job.
Nice. So. Still geeky.
Nice.
I know.
That's why we like you.
That's why we love Stacey.
So read that if you're interested in that. I think I don't know. I like making that stuff visible.
I agree. And Oprah's list will be here next year.
She put the Echo Spot on it, you guys. Okay, it's just lame.
I like the Echo Spot. It's in my closet.
I know you do. You do.
It's not my bedroom though. What? Nope. Jeff, your number of the week.
Well, this will piss off Stacey. So
it's not Oprah's. It's not Oprah's list.
Favorite
no, it's kind of. So for the sake of the show, I decided to take my lunch hour today, and I went downtown. I went to the Google pop-up store and the Amazon 4-star store.
Oh.
Just to see what they were like. The Google pop-up store is all try to be too cool and all that. That's where I saw the slate and saw that.
Nice.
I don't think so. And by the way, the trackpad wasn't working, so I thought, oh man, you got to use the screen all the time. But somebody else was having the same problem, and the guy in the store said, yeah, the problem is it's got Chrome 71 on it, and it's buggy.
Oops.
But so they had everything there. Is what it is, little cute stuff. Not very exciting. There's not much to do. I think they're making a mistake not selling some Google swag or Google this or Google that. You know, something you can say, I went to the Google store. But that's fine. So then I went to the Amazon 4-star. And these things have been around. I haven't seen them. This is everything rated 4 stars and above.
Everything?
Well, not everything. Everything in it has been rated.
We have an Amazon
4 stars and above. So it's not the Amazon store. It's not the bookstore. This is a different store, and it is cluttered as can be. It's kind of Walmart-y. Obviously, it has all the fire sticks you could ever want in life.
Oh, God. And
all that. But it has pet toys and kitchen gadgets, little kitchen gadgets, big, and notebooks and books, and like just 2 small racks of books and toys and all kinds of stuff. It was kind of overwhelming in a way. But there's
these pictures look nutty.
Yeah, they are. I took a picture. I should have sent it to Karsten. But it's pretty amazing. Yeah. So they've popped up in a few cities, and you can go into the 4-star store. And actually, as kind of claustrophobic as I found it, it is a decent browsing opportunity for gifts and things. There were things like I didn't know that existed. Of course, you're going to both have 5 of these, I'm sure. The high-speed, super-duper air fryers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Megan just got one of those.
Our June ovens have air frying.
Exactly.
So
we have convection ovens.
We don't need that.
Have you ever used it that way, Stacey?
Yes, I have. I've made chicken tenders. They were delicious.
Really? All right, I have to try it.
Yeah. And no fat, right?
Yeah.
There's always fat in anything I make because fat makes things taste good.
You never tasted a worse chicken tender without fat. There's nothing worse. It's like
in the park right near my office, they have ice skating in the winter, and then they have food stalls and Christmas stalls and all that kind of stuff. So I went and they had empanadas. They were small empanadas, so I had one chicken empanada, which was fine. But then I had a cheese empanada, and there's just this feeling of wondrous joy that comes over you with good cheese. You know?
Oh, I agree.
The other thing they have there that I haven't gone to yet because it's not cold enough yet is the baked cheese house.
Oh my God.
Raclette.
Raclette.
So you watch the thing bubble.
Yeah.
And then they take this wonderful baguette and they scrape the melted cheese onto the baguette.
I saw that last year when we were in New
jambon,
York. Yeah. Oh,
little
so
mustard,
good.
a few cornichons. No better sandwich
Sounds
in
wonderful.
the world. Cheese just gives you a sense of well-being.
Turns out there's reason behind our craving. Cheese contains casein. It also contains casein fragments called, get this, casomorphins, a casein-derived morphine-like compound. Basically, dairy protein has opiate molecules built in. When consumed,
Good Lord.
these fragments attach to the brain receptors, that the same ones that heroin and other narcotics attach to. You're stoned, Jeff.
On cheese.
Oh my God. I will stone up on queso with you, man.
Yeah.
It does explain a lot.
Oh, I should have told people about this. I'm going to tell you really quick because it's almost the holidays.
Okay.
If you do outdoor lighting, the iDevices, Madam A, and I think Google Home, and maybe even HomeKit enabled outdoor outlet is $45 right now on Amazon. That is a good price for that. Please do not buy the knockoff ones because those are not UL listed. I feel that UL listing is really important in your plugs.
For outside.
So, but this is 45. The other one's it doesn't require a hub. If you want to do outdoor lighting, I'm going to tell you this is amazing. You set it up, then you can tell Madame A or Google.
Is it this one?
Yes.
I'm buying them because you know why? I've
They're
never done
awesome.
this before, but we hired somebody to decorate the house.
Oh, good God.
Lisa says you're too old to get on a ladder.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, but we're not too old to enjoy Christmas. So how many of these do I need?
What are you going to do? How nerdy are you going to go? You going to have a big
many
apple?
strands you need to plug in.
I'm going to get 5.
I have 6.
6?
Well, because I have a rooftop. I have 2 front balconies. I have a back.
Up.
I have the snow globe thing in the front.
So you say, Echo, turn on the snow globe, and it does?
No, I have. Have you not seen my Vimeo video of Alexa turn on Christmas?
Have we?
I'm
it's
sure
an annual
you guys
tradition.
have.
I should save it for next month.
Yeah, we'll do it next time because you got to go. But
should I really get these? But wait a minute. What are you plugging them into?
Your Christmas lights.
Oh, and then the other side is plugged into somewhere. You have to have power. But I guess I got to get.
This isn't magic.
Extension cords.
Yes, it plugs it. So this basically turns it voice activates or remote control activates your outdoor lights.
Okay. I have a tip for my pick of the week. Be careful what you buy on Amazon. For instance, if you buy a butthead mask, let's just say, and then every time you go to Amazon, it says, here's your recent order of a butthead mask. It kind of takes
buy that.
It kind of takes the fun out of going to Amazon.
Sure does.
I'm just saying, don't And if you do, don't buy it on Amazon. That butthead mask's going to haunt my Amazon forever now.
And it's going to go everywhere, all around the web.
Oh, why did you
buy a butthead mask, Leo?
I thought it'd be funny.
It is funny. I'm enjoying it tremendously.
I have it. You want to see it?
Mm-mm.
It was
sure. Oh, sure.
I like Stacey.
Oh, good.
Here's her video.
Oh.
Go ahead. Just say it for us.
Oh, I say turn on Christmas. And it takes a
It's on Vimeo.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh.
Play holiday music.
Oh.
Holiday classics on Prime Music.
It's so festive.
Alexa, turn off downstairs lights.
Oh. Oh. So festive. I hope you get 1 million views on that.
I think I had that up forever. We don't need 1 million views. It's
on Vimeo. Don't get anything for that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We do This Week in Google every Wednesday about 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern, 21:30 UTC. Yes, we're now on Pacific Standard Time. If you want to watch live, go to twit.tv/live. Do not go to youtube.tv/twit. Go to twit.tv/live. We get audio and video streaming there. You can also join us in the chat room if you're watching the live stream. That's where everybody who's watching is hanging. irc.twit.tv. And if you want on-demand audio or video, you can download it either from the website, twit.tv/twig, or get it from your favorite podcast appliance. All you have to do is you can ask Madam A or Madam S or Madam G or Madam whoever. Listen to This Week in Google or listen to This Week in Google on TuneIn, depending on your device, or you can even subscribe in your favorite podcaster. And that'll get you every episode the minute it's available, right away, so you always have something great to listen to. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time on This Week in Google. Bye-bye.